hello everyone. In this lecture of the subject special electrical machine, in continuation with the previous lecture, I am going to cover the permanent magnet stepper motors, and if some time permits, I will discuss some characteristics of the stepper motors in general. So, just go through all these slides. This is all that we have covered in the previous lectures, and in previous lecture, I discussed the multi-stack variable reluctance stepper motor, and after that I gave an introduction of the permanent magnet stepper motors. So now let us start with the permanent magnet stepper motors. The basic construction of the permanent magnet stepper motors is like this. The rotor is having permanent magnet. Typically the rare earth material is used for the same. The stator is provided with salient poles and multi-phase windings over these salient poles to form the stator winding. The phases may be, usually they are kept as 2 to 4. The rotor of the permanent magnet stepper motor aligns with the stator poles via electromagnetic interaction. So basically a force of attraction or force of repulsion works between the stator and rotor magnetic poles, and this causes rotation of the rotor and alignment of rotor with the stator magnetic poles. The basic principle of operation includes the excitation of stator phases in a particular manner. Then rotor, depending upon the sequence of excitation, rotor moves in discrete step, and the one discrete step is equal to the step angle, and the step angle is given as 360 degree divided by m dot p, where m is the number of stator phases and p is the number of rotor poles. This is what we have discussed in the previous lecture, as well as the starting of the basic introduction of permanent magnet stepper motors. Now proceeding with the excitation modes for permanent magnet stepper motors are, we may have single phase excitation, usually low torque applications. In low torque applications, we use single phase excitation. Then we are having two phase excitation, and we are having half step mode. Half step mode is basically 2-1 excitation mode, and it is used for finer control and smoother motion of the rotor. So starting with the basic structure of a two-pole permanent magnet stepper motor. So a two-pole two-phase motor, it is actually two-pole two-phase. The stator is having two poles. The stator is having two phases, A and B. The rotor is having two poles, right? Now, a particular circuit, a typical excitation circuit for the phase windings A and B is shown over here. As you can see, it utilizes the double throw switch. Switch position 1 and 2 may be selected for the switch S1 and S2, and depending upon the position of switch, whether the switch is in position 1 or is in position 2, it will decide the direction of current in the two phases. So switch S1 can be operated either in position 1 or in position 2. Likewise, switch S2 can be operated either in position 1 or in position 2. If switch is held in a particular position, for example 1, it will give you one direction of current in the respective phase winding, and if the same switch is put in position 2, the direction of current will get reversed. So accordingly, with the help of this simple circuit, we can have either positive phase current or negative phase current. Depending upon the same, the pole position created by the stator, the poles created by the stator's position would be decided. Let us consider this particular case, an example. The position of rotor when phase B is energized. You have already seen the presence of winding around the projected poles A and B of the stator. So, what we are considering here is the very first excitation mode of operation. It is single phase excitation. Single phase excitation means we are going to energize only one phase winding at a time, right? So here this particular case belongs to the condition when phase B alone is energized. As I have mentioned, we are discussing the operation under the first mode of excitation, which is one phase excitation at a time. So when phase B is excited, the B dash, the rotor position, although the pole formation is not marked over B and B dash projected poles of the stator, but rotor position is clearly telling that N is created over here and S is created over here. So rotor, wherever it was previously, rotor has aligned itself with the stator magnetic poles, and this is the equilibrium condition or the condition of stable rest for the rotor. Now let us consider another case where position of the rotor is this. Now what the position of the rotor is telling about the stator poles. Definitely this side N would have been created and S would have been created over here. So we have the pole formation N and S depending upon the excitation of phase A. Now as I told you, phase A can be excited with positive current or with negative current. Likewise, phase B can very well be excited with positive current or with negative current. So, if this was the position, the excitation of the phase A in such a way that N is created over here, S is created over here, will cause movement of the rotor in anti-clockwise direction by an angle of 90 degree, right? 90 degree is the step angle over here. You can very well calculate it. Step angle 360 divided by 2 stator poles, stator phases multiplied by 2 rotor poles. So it comes out to be equal to what? 90 degree. So what we are having over here is the 90 degree step angle, right? Now let us consider another method, and in this particular method, the two phases are excited at a time, right? So two phase on method. So what it implies? The two phases, now there are, depending upon the direction of current, which is decided by the position of switch S1 and switch S2. What are the various possible ways? We may have positive current in phase A, negative current in phase B. We may have positive current in phase A, positive current in phase B. We may have negative current in phase A, negative current in phase B. We may have negative current in phase A, positive current in phase B, and so on, right? The truth table corresponding to this is also shown over here, right? Now let us start considering various cases. S1 and S2 both are in position 1. So S1 in position 1, S2 in position 1 is indicating that the current in phase A as well as in phase B is positive, right? And this is the rotor position pertaining to this very first entry in the truth table for clockwise rotation of the machine. We may have the anti-clockwise rotation of the rotor as well, but what we have to do for that, simply we have to make certain changes in the switches position S1 and S2. So, considering this to be the reference position, so angle is 0. The rotor is in alignment with the stator pole. So, the angle of rotor, position angle of rotor is considered to be 0 degree here. With respect to this 0 degree or reference position, with the first case, the rotation of the rotor is by 45 degree with respect to the reference point, right? 45 degree. Why 45 degree? Because as you know, the phase A and phase B are both excited, right? So rotor, so it means that phase A is creating its magnetic field, phase B is also creating its magnetic field. So rotor will align itself with respect to the resultant magnetic field, and the resultant magnetic field is nothing but the resultant of the magnetic field created by phase A current and phase B current. So rotor takes this particular position, and it implies definitely this side is the side S and this side is the side N of the resultant magnetic field created by the stator. Now, if there is a rotation, if there is a change in position of the switches, for example, S1 in position 2, S2 in position 1, it means that current in phase A is negative and current in phase B is positive, right? Now let us see what happens. Current in phase A is negative, whereas current in phase B is positive. So, with respect to the switching circuit, let me explain. S1 is in position 2, S2 is in position 1. Let us come back to the switching circuit. S1 is in position 2, S2 is in position 1. Let me show you the direction of current with S1 and S2 in these positions. So S1 is in position 2. So let us consider this. Now it is in position 2. So S1 is connected here. S2 is in position 1. Let me change the color of the ink for a clarity over here. S2 is in position 1. So this, and I just forgot to mark the second pole to connect the second pole of switch S1. Let me just connect it. So S1 is in position 2 and S2 is in position 1. Let us see what happens over here. Starting from the positive of the supply, going here, reaching here, going here. Let us consider it. Let us consider the direction of current for phase A first. So, phase A is getting connected here. Just to follow the dotted red line. Then it is here. Then it is connected to this. Then it is here. And then it is here. Then current in A like this. Then coming back here, going here, and this is going to be the negative terminal of the supply. So what it implies? It implies that the direction of current in phase A is negative, right? Now let us consider the direction of current in phase B at the same time. For this, let us consider how current is flowing through phase B. So it is here, right? Then here. Then just to follow this dotted green line to know the direction of the current under this condition. So what it implies? The current in phase B is positive, right? In this way, it is actually working. So current in phase A is negative, current in phase B is positive. Current in phase A is negative and current in phase B is positive. Now let me tell you one more thing. When current is positive for a particular phase, right? When current in a particular phase is positive, then you will find the formation of S pole, right? Pay attention. formation of S pole here, formation of N pole here. So, the nomenclature that we are following over here, and definitely it depends upon the way in which the winding is done over the projected poles, right? So, just follow this. When current in the phases is positive, A and B side will have S pole formation, A dash, B dash side will have N pole formation, right? Following the same nomenclature. Now, current in phase A is negative, it means that S pole formation would be at A dash. Current in phase B is positive, that is S pole formation would be at B projected pole of the stator. So, what about the resultant? Likewise, N, respective N here and respective N over here, following the heteropolar structure of the magnetic field. So, the resultant S pole formation is here, resultant N pole formation is here. What was the previous position of the rotor? The previous position of the rotor was this. Now, rotor has rotated by one step angle, that is by 90 degree, and it is aligning itself in this particular case relative to with respect to the switch position in second case, right? Likewise, let us consider the third case. In the third case, S1, S2 negative means current in both phase A and phase B would be negative, okay? Current is negative. Current is negative means S pole formation would be here, S pole formation would be here, and the respective N pole formation would be here, right? Now, for your convenience, let me just mark this. Let me just change the color as it is not mentioned over here. So, this is A, this is A dash, you know that well, this is B and this is B dash, okay. So, what about the pole formation? The resultant pole S would be here, the resultant pole formation N would be here, and rotor has aligned itself with the resultant magnetic field. What was the previous position of the rotor? It was here, right? Rotor has rotated by another 90 degree to align itself with the resultant magnetic field under this condition. So, rotor with respect to the reference angle, the rotor is at an angle of 225 degree. The next sequence, the next possible sequence is switch S1 in position 1, that is phase A current positive, phase B current negative, and you will find the rotor rotation by another 90 degree in the same direction, in the same clockwise direction, and the rotor position with respect to the reference angle would be 315 degrees, right? If we again come back to the first position, you will find the rotor position at an angle of 45 degree. That is, now the rotor has completed one complete revolution of 360 degrees, right? So, this is the truth table for clockwise rotation. If you want to rotate the rotor in anti-clockwise direction, what you have to do? Nothing much. You just have to change this sequence, right? So, what would you have to do in that case? When rotor is at an angle of 45 degree, you want a rotation in counterclockwise direction by an angle of 90 degrees. So, you just have to reverse the direction of current flowing in the phases, okay, with respect to what we have marked over here. Now, the next mode of excitation is 2-1-2-1 phase on. So, in this particular mode of excitation, initially one phase is excited, second remains de-energized. As the next step in this switching sequence, the phase which was excited will remain excited only, and the second phase is excited, right? Following the same sequence, the first phase which was energized earlier will now be de-energized, and only the second phase will remain excited, and so on. In this manner, we are going to operate, we are going to have the step angle of 45 degree, right? So suppose the case when switch S2 is in position 1 and switch S1 is opened. What is the meaning that switch S1 is, switch S1, yes, switch S1 is open. This is not with respect to exactly with this is this particular case which is depicted in this particular figure, in this particular schematic representation. Switch S2 is in position 1, positive current, and switch S1 is open, that S1 is not excited, right? So when switch S2 is supplied with the positive current, remember, the rotor will get aligned with the stator. Switch S2 in position 1, switch S1 opened. So in this case, the rotor is aligned with the magnetic field of phase B, right? Now let us consider along with S2, S1 is also energized. So when S1 is energized, I would like to make a small correction over here. And the correction is what we were following, what nomenclature we were following. We were following that when current in a phase is positive, the dash terminal will have N pole, right? Dash terminal will have N pole. So when the current in a phase is positive, the dash terminal, okay, this is fine. The dash terminal will have the formation of N pole. So dash terminal is having the formation of N pole over here, and current in phase A is negative. So for the negative, N would be here and S would be here, right? It is perfectly okay. So the resultant magnetic field, N would be here and S would be here, right? So in this manner, you can see that this was the position of the rotor with respect to the reference angle. The rotor is at an angle of 90 degree, and in this particular case, which actually pertains to this second, right, with respect to this, the rotor position is at an angle of 135 degree. So what is the rotation? The rotation is from 90 degree to 135 degree. What it implies? The rotor from previous to next sequence, right? When we are changing the switching from this to this sequence, the rotation of the rotor is by half of the step angle, right? And this is what we obtain in 2-1-2-1 phase on method. In this particular method, we get the step angle, the angle by which rotor is actually rotating here is half of the step angle. The step angle for this is 90 degree as we have calculated earlier, but you can very well see that in this particular case, the rotor is making a step of 45 degree only, right? So rotor is actually moving by half of the step angle in 2-1-2-1 phase on method. This is the complete truth table, and students may very well verify it with respect to the schematic, with respect to the basic structure of the machine and the switching circuit, which is mentioned over here on some previous slide here. So with respect to this, just verify the truth table for 2-phase on method as well as the truth table for 2-1-2-1 phase on method. So that's all for this lecture. Next, we will consider the characteristics of stepper motors and also the hybrid stepper motor in the next lecture in sequence for the same subject. Till then, thank you.